Welcome to the Reinvent Your Life podcast, the show that talks about why we do what we do and how we can do it better.
Welcome to the Reinvent Your Life podcast. My name is Chaz Molesky, and today we're going to talk about language patterns. More specifically, what your language patterns have to do with influencing your life on a day-to-day basis and how they really define your daily occurrences. See, we go through every day, it seems, where some of us just react to everything that's happening around us. Others are proactive about it. And then others are just kind of there, right? Existing, feeling, experiencing, which is a great way to be because you can choose to interpret all of this however you want. If you don't know how to do any of that, please go back to my previous recordings of meaning so that you can understand how to attach a meaning to the things that are going around or going on around you. That's it. Back to language. So in the English language, all right, the English dictionary has 3,000 words for emotions. So these words describe your emotions. These go beyond your basic happy, sad, enthusiastic, those types of things. Like there are 3,000 words that define emotion. Now, I want you to do a quick little exercise. I did this exercise a long time ago when I was first studying to be a coach, and it was one of the most transformational things for me because I didn't realize how much my emotions impacted me. And I didn't realize it because I was constantly feeding it with the language I was using. So we take terms of feeling, all right, of emotion. So we'll say, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling happy, I'm feeling angry, whatever that might be. But a lot of us, that one distinction, the word feeling, all right, this is where the real change takes place. When you say, I'm angry, now you're making that a permanent. That's describing you as who you are. So you're using the language to influence your own identity. So if you say, I am angry, that means in that moment, right then and there, you are anger. You are embodying anger. You are the personification of anger. And the problem with this is that's not really true. You're going through a moment of anger, right? You're feeling anger, but you are not anger. That is not who you are at your core. But a lot of us don't even realize this and we confuse it. So we'll describe ourselves as I'm angry, I'm sad, I'm depressed. And when our brain hears that, it makes your body respond in a way that is congruent with that feeling because your body knows what that feeling is. Your mind knows what that feeling is. So when you're telling yourself what you are, when you're telling yourself you are that feeling, you're going to react as though you are that feeling. And this is where it gets very convoluted for some people because it's very easy to understand in this way. You know, if you're just listening to me right now, maybe you're driving, maybe you're walking, maybe you're just sitting down. And you might not be experiencing any real extreme emotions, right? You just might be curious or you just might be enthused, whatever it is, right? You're something. But at the same time, you can rationalize and you can conceptualize what I'm saying because you're not in that emotion. When you're in a very, very strong emotion like anger or fear or anxious, something like that. When you're in that, right in that moment, it's very hard to just say, oh, okay, well, I can change this right now. But that's exactly what we have to do. And it all lies in your language. So here's a little exercise I want you to do. Instead of saying I am X, I am Y, right? Whatever that emotion is going to be, what I want you to do is I want you to take I am and then add feeling before any of the adjectives that come after to describe where you are in that moment, okay? So let's say you're feeling angry. I am feeling angry. I'm not angry, I'm feeling angry. The reason we're saying this is because by feeling, right, we're associating with our body with that feeling. We're saying that we are feeling angry, but that does not mean it's permanent. It's just a feeling. Just like happiness, just like sadness, any of those things. It's a feeling. And our mind can rationalize that now. It can say, okay, we're just feeling this way. We are not this way. We are feeling it right now. So you'll be able to move out of this phase much quicker than if you define yourself as that. All right, so language is extremely important in shaping how your day is even going to play out because that language is commanding your brain and your body to react. So the same thing with language. If you want to really get into it, this is the thing that I learned when I was first studying to be a coach was I was using consistent negative language day after day after day, and it was defining my reality. And the frustration with this is when we're in that state and we just consistently go through our day experiencing the same 8, 9, 10 emotions every single day, and most of them are negative, well, then we're going to react negatively to most things that are happening around us. And especially if we start integrating our language with it and saying, this sucks, I hate this, that person's dumb, this person doesn't understand, you're stupid, I'm stupid. When we start talking like this, we're defining certain things around us as such. We're making it absolute. This is the way that it is. This is the thing. And our language is the one telling our brain this. So if we can shift our language into a different pattern, into thinking, okay, maybe it's currently that way in the moment. Maybe we're feeling this way in the moment, but that is not the truth of the situation. And we can use our language differently. So if we have something that we screw up, right? We mess up something. Maybe we're at work or, we make a dumb mistake. We're not dumb because we made the mistake. We just made a dumb mistake. It is very different. We might have rearranged the words in the sentence a little bit, but it is very different when your brain goes to access that and when your body responds in a way. So if you say, I am dumb versus I just made a dumb mistake, it's completely different in actual application and how your brain processes that. So be very mindful of the words that you're using every day, because what you're going to experience is, just like I did, when you start to change the verbiage you're using, when you start to change the words that you use every day, you have a different outlook on life. So if you ever notice super positive, happy people, these people aren't this way just naturally. Some people might, sure, there might be something in them that propels them to optimism, but these people work on this. And the way that they work on it is they just consistently talk in a way that feeds that identity. So if they're optimistic, if they're happy, if they're excited about something, or that's just who they are, they emit this positivity. They talk in a way that emits the positivity. So the more and more they do that, the more their body responds in that way, because it's trying to stay authentic to the identity. So with this, when we're talking about language and we're really thinking about the language that we're using, take a moment to think about the language that you use every day. Are you more positive than negative? You more negative than positive? Or are you just kind of even, right? You're just kind of in the middle. You're one of those floaters. And when you start to look into this, really take a deep dive into it. Don't just go surface level, oh, I'm really negative, or oh, I'm positive. No. Take a moment, take some time, and really think about this. Think about what you are most of. And when you realize that and you actually get deeper into it, try to think why, right? What are the reasons that have led up to this? Because what you're going to start to see is you're going to start to notice patterns in your language. Every time you say certain things, certain other things happen. Or every time you feel a certain way, you say a certain thing. Once we can identify these patterns, we can start to break them down, and especially in language. So a homework assignment from you from this is to find 2 to 3 new words you want to start incorporating into your language every single day that describes an emotion you're feeling or a state of being that you're currently in or presently in. But here's what I'll say. Please make this a positive word, because the more negative you feed your mind, the more negative your mind will become. So the more you feed it positivity, the more you're going to look for opportunities, and the more you're going to be optimistic about certain situations. But this all starts with the language, both the internal speak and the external speak. Because guys, let's be honest. We talk to ourselves in a very negative way on the inside, don't we? And we have these conversations with our head that makes us seem like the worst possible person on earth. And we know that's not true. But guess what? The more you talk about it like that, the more we feel that it's true. And the more we use the language to support that belief, the more we'll know how to talk ourselves into it. So by changing your language, you can literally change your life. But it starts by identifying the language patterns that you want to start shifting. And the way you do that is by noticing it in the moment and stopping it, right? Cutting it off right then and there. Once you realize you're talking in a negative way, or you're talking in a way that's keeping you in an unfulfilled state, then we can work on adapting that. We can work on pulling that apart, and we can work on implementing new words, new language patterns that are actually going to help us moving forward. So after this podcast, that's exactly what I want you to do. I want you to think of what you talk about most often, right? Think about that thing that always comes around. If you have a daily thing that you end up talking about, say it's work, say it's a coworker, say it's yourself, whatever that might be. What does that conversation usually look like? Is it positive? Is it negative? And why? Is it either of those? And then you can start identifying this in every area of your life. So pay attention to your language, start incorporating new words that are going to fulfill you more, give you a better outcome in the future, and continuously do that until you're just automatically programming your mind to look for the optimism, look for the positivity, look for those words that are going to help you. So I hope this podcast helped. Go work on your language right now. As I always say, go apply the knowledge that you're learning. Don't just have knowledge to have knowledge. That doesn't do anything. So please go out, apply this knowledge. Let me know what you thought about it. Please, if you have not yet, subscribe to the podcast. Send this to a friend. Send it to somebody who's always negative or constantly talking negatively about themselves or other people. Trust me, the littlest thing can help at times. And if they don't know about it, they don't know about it. So please help me share, help me spread the word, help me share with others, and I'll talk to you soon.
Thanks for listening to the Reinvent Your Life podcast. Now go out and apply what you just heard to start your reinvention. Please subscribe, rate, and share this podcast with those that need it most.